This week and next week, actually, we are walking through identifying and avoiding toxic relationships. Into every life, a little toxic relationship is probably going to come. And a couple of things we want to do. We want to be able to recognize them. And I do feel like that term toxic relationship is overused. But what we can say is relationships have sin involved. And there are a lot of different sinful characteristics, not just sinful actions, but sometimes repeated habitual sin patterns that we want to be aware of in ourselves first and foremost, but then also in the people that we connect to, because they can really poison your life. You become like the people that you spend the most time with. And the book of Proverbs chapter 20, has a lot of phenomenal information for us, a lot of really good wake up, open your eyes to these kinds of people because they will wreck your life. And it is interesting that the same ones that I'm describing to you out of Proverbs chapter 20, this is a like 3,000-year-old human problem. So, the word toxic relationship is pretty new. The term gaslighting is only a couple years old, but the patterns of sinful behavior are as old as humanity. And so already this week, we have looked at mad gas out of Proverbs chapter 20, mad gas for poisonous toxic relationships. We've looked at the manipulator, the addict, and today we are going to be looking at the deceiver. Actually, no, we're not. We already looked at the deceiver. I'm sorry, my brain's a little messed up. We're looking at the gossip today. Let's talk about gossip. Let's not gossip. Let's just talk about gossip. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 19. Whoever goes about slandering reveals secrets. Therefore, do not associate with a simple babbler. And this is, again, one of these that I think is, we have to be careful. It's really easy to accuse somebody else of gossip when in reality, we all talk about people. And sometimes we talk about positive things about people. And sometimes we talk about negative things about people. So let's be careful not to overly throw around the term gossip when we're labeling somebody. But at the same time, let's be very careful to not be a gossip. And I think one of the ways that you can recognize it in your life, are you sharing something about somebody in order to bring them down, thinking that you're going to look better in the long run by what you share? Because that's ultimately what gossip is. Gossip is pride and it's insecurity. And instead of being confident and secure in our own merits, instead of being an encourager, we think if we share and tell demeaning things about somebody else when they're not around, it's going to make us look better, and it actually makes us look like garbage. So we don't want to be that. And we don't want to have those as our close friends. Something that I say all the time, if somebody gossips to other people, if somebody gossips about other people to you, then they will gossip to other people about you. Remember that. If you've got friends and you love being around them because they spill all the dirt on, or all the tea now, I guess, it could be dirty tea, that they spill on somebody else. If you have somebody that's like your source of information for that, just make sure that you understand that they are doing the same thing about you to other people. It's somebody that can't be trusted. So you want to keep these people as friends only if you really enjoy getting stabbed in the back, because that's what's going to happen. So the gossip is, again, it's pride, it's insecurity. It's thinking that by sharing damaging or defaming information about somebody else, when they're not around to set the record straight, when they're not around to defend themselves, that we somehow look better. Now, even as I say this, I realize that I am guilty of this, and I would imagine that you are guilty of it too. None of us likes to admit that we're a gossip, and we've all gossiped. What we want to be careful of is, we don't want to gossip ever. And when we gossip, we want to recognize it. We want to repent. We want to go back and try to repair the reputation of the person that we've badmouthed. And I think sometimes it's very appropriate for us to apologize to them as well. But don't be this. Gossips tend to attract gossips, and they always tear one another up. That's just something that I found. So I don't think this has to be a long one. This just has to be one that you pay attention to. If you allow other people to gossip to you, then those people will gossip about you. So you want to be that kind of person that people are not interested in bringing that information because they know that you don't want to hear it. And every time they start talking derogatory about somebody, you jump in with something encouraging. You jump in with something that's uplifting, that defends that person. And just be that kind of person. Be the kind of person that nobody wants to gossip to because they know that you won't listen. And that's going to take some work of the Spirit. That's going to take some prayer. That's going to take some maturity. But that's a great goal for life. We want to avoid toxic relationships, poisonous people, mad gas, and the gossip is right in the center of that. So don't do it. Don't entertain it. Don't be it.